Documents produced to the Select Committee show that the Trump campaign took steps to ensure that the physical copies of the fake electors' electoral votes from 2 states were delivered to Washington for January 6th. Text messages exchanged between Republican Party officials in Wisconsin show that on January 4th, the Trump campaign asked for someone to fly their fake electors' documents to Washington. A staffer for Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson texted a staffer for Vice President Pence just minutes before the beginning of the joint session. This staffer stated that Senator Johnson wished to hand-deliver to the vice president the fake electors' votes from Michigan and Wisconsin. The vice president's aide unambiguously instructed them not to deliver the fake votes to the vice president. Even though the fake elector slates were transmitted to Congress and the executive branch, the vice president held firm in his position that his role was to count lawfully submitted electoral votes.
A Republican senator caught red-handed trying to overthrow democracy. In a week full of shocking revelations from the January 6th committee, nothing has proven more dramatic than text messages identifying Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson as a major player in Donald Trump's effort to overturn a free and fair election. The text messages that screwed Ron Johnson came from his staffer, Sean Riley, who was desperate to get a document into the hands of Vice President Mike Pence. That document was a slate of fake presidential electors that would have overridden the state's actual voters and delivered Wisconsin to Donald Trump. But Pence aide Chris Hodgson wanted nothing to do with Johnson's criminal conspiracy. "Do not give that to him," Hodgson demanded. Revelations like Johnson's deep involvement in an attempt to overthrow democracy aren't going over well with Americans. Nearly 6 in 10 people say that Donald Trump should be charged with a crime for his role in inciting the January 6th attack. That's a huge jump from January, when only 41% of Americans thought Trump should be behind bars. And Republicans can't outrun the viral nature of these made-for-TV hearings. The irony is that Republicans are largely responsible for creating the blockbuster primetime hearing. That was the goal behind the 2015 Benghazi hearings, which never found any wrongdoing, but became a weight around Hillary Clinton's neck throughout the 2016 presidential campaign. Now Democrats hold the House majority, and they have something McCarthy and Republicans never did: an actual, provable case of Republican wrongdoing. And more than that, they have a massive television audience. According to the New York Times, over 20 million Americans tuned in to watch the first week of hearings on television. And that doesn't even include people who viewed highlights online. Ron Johnson is suddenly very interested in convincing you that there's nothing to see here. Viewers disagree. That's bad news for Republicans, because the more Americans who learn about what happened on January 6th, the more likely they are to call it a crime and hold Republicans responsible. Johnson has avoided press questions as to why he had a bunch of forged elector slates in his possession and why he was trying to pressure the vice president into committing sedition. When pressed by Capitol Hill reporters, Johnson pretended to take a phone call. When a reporter called Johnson out for not even having his phone turned on, the senator beat a hasty retreat to the safety of his office. The January 6th committee is making a compelling case that many top Republicans had their hands deep in the events that became the Capitol insurrection. But they cannot prosecute that case alone. It's up to Democrats to ensure that voters do more than just watch out-of-context clips. They need to ensure that Americans understand why Republicans like Ron Johnson can never again be trusted to protect our democracy.